Hello, my name is Matthew, and for the month of September, Steve Donahue and I are continuing our book club of two, and we're reading a graphic novel. It's Kingdom Come, written by Mark Wade and illustrated by the fantastic Alex Ross. And for this week, we're on to part two, and part one introduced us to the premise of the story. Superman and all of the golden age superheroes have gone into retirement and have been succeeded by a new generation of super beings that are not necessarily superheroes. They are still very powerful, have different kinds of superpowers, but are reckless and don't have the same black and white idea of good and bad, good and evil, and they're wreaking havoc. This new generation of super beings are just turning the world upside down. Humanity has now become a global bystander bystander to these huge raucous fights, just havoc in the streets, and ultimately a global disaster. We learn that there's this super being named Magog. In part two, we find out that he was almost in line to be the new generation's Superman. And during this absence of the Golden Age superheroes, there's what should have been a rather minor fight in Kansas with some either villain or creature called the Parasite. And Magog brings practically an army of like a mob of super beings, and the result is there's an accident, and Kansas is leveled by a nuclear explosion. There's Atom Man who gets ripped in half, and like splitting the atom creates a nuclear explosion, and the world has to deal with the consequences of these super beings running amok and having very little regard to the world or just humanity. This is a lead up. This big disaster is a lead up to Superman returning. Wonder Woman coaxes him out of the Fortress of Solitude, I think, and he has his grand return. There's another just blowout battle at the end of part one, where we see Superman's kind of classic arrival on the scene, floating up in the sky. We have people looking up and saying, "Up in the sky." So there's this hope and relief that Superman has returned. Chapter 2 is Truth and Justice. And so we get this gallery picture of these characters that are more or less recognizable to me. So Superman, the Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, the Flash. There's several. The majority I don't know. And we were told that at least the iconic superheroes hadn't disappeared, just shrunk back a little bit from their presence on the world stage. So the Flash is just running around his city, protecting it. The Green Lantern is up in this emerald spaceship, guarding Earth from aliens. Hawkman is off in the Midwest, just protecting a small region. And Batman, who it's mentioned in part two, has turned Gotham City into a police state. The most unheroic outcome of all of the examples that we've shown, even compared to the recklessness of this new generation of super beings. And Superman returns. Chapter 2 starts with, what is his name? Gosh, it's like Americommando. And we have this ridiculous figure. He's one of the newer generations of super beings. And as soon as I started chapter 2, it really made me think about this new generation. Instead of being young and reckless, it's now a gang of terrorists. This is a domestic terrorist wearing red, white, and blue. He's shouting about immigration policies, what does he call them? The poor, tired, huddled masses. So just the poorest, most vulnerable portions of the population at the shores of the American coastline, looking for refuge. And we have just this terrorist screaming with rage about how America is smaller now, Kansas has been obliterated, and wants to start a small war on the coast of America. It's terrifying. It's scary. And we start seeing a fight break out. And Superman arrives now with his team. It's amazing. Look at that. So the Christ-like figure of Superman, the Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Hawkman. These two I don't know. And of course they make short work. Again, just they're not at the same power set as Superman or any of the others. And there's a glimmer of hope from the people that are watching this. Like the heroes of times past have come back. And then Superman goes to the UN and gives this speech that if he wasn't Superman, if he wasn't wearing this costume, you would think the speech would be coming from a villain. What does he say? We have returned to teach them the meaning of truth and justice. Together we will guide this new breed with wisdom, and if necessary, with force. And above all, we will restore order. We will make things right again. And there's reporters and questions are being asked, and they say, well, what if there's pushback? What if they don't want to listen to you? What if they don't want to follow you? And what does he say? I don't anticipate anyone acting without our sanction. And it's villainous. This Superman that's now collected all of the old superheroes, instead of feeling heroic or having that spirit of truth and justice, a clear division between right and wrong, now we have this young generation of very powerful but reckless terrorists. And then the older generation, the golden age superheroes coming back and immediately seeming like authoritarians. Superman is acting despotic. Wonder Woman more and more becomes warlike, excessive force, and being brutal. And what do we see? So Superman goes to see Bruce Wayne, and this is amazing. He just flies down the steps. Why would Superman walk down the steps, step by step, like a silly human? And he sees Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is just like in this full body cast. He has this exoskeleton just from years of being whipped like a hacky sack, but being Batman and always coming through. And so he's just pinned together Batman, Bruce Wayne, who's just this Orwellian big brother, surveying and issuing forceful resolutions through fear in Gotham City. He just has like an army of like Batman robots or androids or something like that. And Superman is asking Batman to join forces, to come back and join the Justice League. And this is the only, other than Wonder Woman approaching Superman, this is the only example that we have of Superman approaching one of the old superheroes to join the Justice League again. At first we're told that all the superheroes have disappeared, but the ones that we know didn't disappear. They just changed their role in the world. So the Flash is still around, Green Lantern is still around, Hawkman. They've been through all of this. They saw the disaster in Kansas, and we're not given any good reason why they're back on the world stage, why they're back joining the Justice League. I think we're just supposed to believe, well, now that Superman is back, we're all going to go back to how the way things were. And other than Wonder Woman, none of the other characters have any personality. They're just another recruit. So they're kind of slighted in that way. I don't even know if the Flash or the Green Lantern talk in Chapter 2. But Bruce Wayne is never without a plan. So he is indifferent to anything Superman has to say. They bicker back and forth. And refuses, says he's not joining the Justice League. He has his own plans in mind. And we see Superman and his growing army flying around battle to battle with a supposed olive branch. Join us or you will be dealt with. And so we have scenes like this. It's amazing to look at. This incredible flying acrobatic fight scene. Up here is supposed to be a bit of ambassadorship. Right above this. And it doesn't seem... There's no clear division. Everybody... There's three parties going on. We have the new generation, the old generation, and then some proper villains. Lex Luthor is still around other villainous characters. We see him in some high-rise conference room, and he actually makes more sense, at least initially, then, like, what is Superman's version of truth and justice? He's just a bruiser. We call ourselves the Mankind Liberation Front, and his point of view is getting rid of all these characters. And he kind of makes a point. It's still very, very villainous, of course. Superman's going to be come out in the right at the end, I'm sure. And we have a cameo with Shazam, who is just like the water boy. He comes in to serve refreshments. We see him up here. People are asking, like, what about Superman? What does he say? I've got the most marvelous anti-Superman plan. Isn't that right, boy? Absolutely, Mr. Luthor. So all these, we have three big parties going on. Speaking of parties, Superman crashes a rave, so these super beings are just out partying and I guess being young and stupid. It doesn't seem like there's anything really dangerous happening, but he doesn't like it. They're drinking, they're not acting heroic, and he just shows up and throws down an ultimatum. Join us and join our creed and set of ethics, morals, and act upstanding, or you're going to be dealt with. And they're up in Emerald City, and I wonder how all these people get up there and come back down. We'll see Wonder Woman in a little bit, visiting Atlantis under the ocean. She has to wear this bubble, but I wonder if they're taking ships back and forth. And these fight scenes, these battles aren't going well. They're just met with more friction and aggression than Superman was anticipating, and there's this kind of building pressure. Is saving the world by trying to deal as soldier / ambassador. Is Superman equipped to handle it, to come up with a resolution? And it doesn't really seem that it doesn't seem like he has a very good plan. And it also doesn't seem like he's really as in charge as he thinks he is. They go to Atlantis, and we see Aquaman just looking amazing. And Wonder Woman says that we're building basically more prisoners than recruits, and these are super-powered beings. We don't know where to put them. And she asks, can we imprison them in your stronghold in Atlantis? Superman's surprised by this. And Aquaman refuses to help and refuses to take on their ever-growing prison of super beings. We don't know where they all are at the moment. And Magog, who's this... I had never heard of him, but Magog is this new generation of like the new Superman. He was going to be this great Superman, ends up by accident leveling Kansas, and he's like this looming threat. They haven't been able to find him. There's a question of who's actually more powerful. Could this Magog, in a one-on-one combat, could he take on Superman? Who would win? And they find him, and Magog is acting like that hero that's kind of in the shadows, very villainous, like a character that's about to turn, very menacing. And they have this, Superman and Magog have this heated exchange. We learn a little bit of backstory that the Joker had come into Metropolis, was killing countless people. There's an illusion that the Joker killed Lois Lane. Superman wasn't able to catch him or stop him or apprehend him. It's just the Joker running loose in Metropolis. And Magog, execution style, just murders the Joker on the street. And Superman brings him into court. And he is acquitted. Magog is acquitted. Everyone sees the Joker as the villain that he is. And they're going to have a showdown between Superman and Magog. Superman flies away. Magog is now the hero of the day, which results in Kansas being obliterated. There's a lot that goes on in this comic book. And at the very end of the confrontation between Magog and Superman, we find out Magog is traumatized by what he did in Kansas. And disillusioned that the world chose him over Superman. And he says they chose the man that would kill over the man who wouldn't. He breaks down. He's not a supervillain. He's just not the hero that he thought he would be, and couldn't do the right thing, wasn't able to save the day. And then Superman goes to Apocalypse. I'm really not sure what's going on here. We have the successor of Darkseid. So I thought these were villains, but Superman is here to see if he can. He's talking to him, and you're wondering, is he going to be sending these supervillains to this hellish other planet? And this guy, I can't remember his name. Is it Orion? Orion? Look at this guy. He says, because Superman is just asking for advice. And this guy, Orion, world weary. If this is about the emancipation, if this is about emancipating a world from fears, about emancipating a world from fears, tyrannical shackles, it isn't my help you need. And it looks like in Kansas they're building some sort of structure or an experiment or some kind of gadget. I don't really know what they're doing. Somebody mentions that Superman's building a gulag in Kansas. And then we get, we're at the end, we have a lot of tension building, and we end with a twist, because everybody has plans going on. Superman and the Legion of the Justice League, and Lex Luthor's building his plans, and the young generation of super beings aren't following along. So all this stuff is kind of building up. And we find out that Batman is joining the ranks of Lex Luthor. We have him in his full body cast again. They're shaking hands because they have a mutual enemy. They have mutual goals. And that's it. That's it. So Batman is going to be on Lex Luthor's side. Superman, who seemingly should have been able to clean all of this up much more easily. There's a lot of extra motions going on. For as quickly as he can kind of go through and sweep these people up, it looks like it's on a much grander scale than I originally thought. And throughout most of this, with the return of Superman, the humans are still these innocent bystanders. Um, they don't get much say in what the super beings are doing or what Superman wants or the Justice League. They're still just the casualties of a world of superheroes. Um, so there really is no clear good and evil at this point. I don't really think Superman is the clear is clearly in the right so far. Chapter 3 is up in the sky, and it looks like we see Batman again. And there's Shazam, so it looks like we're going to be leading up to this idea of like the golden age heroes. They're all coming back, so we're going to have the golden age villains rising from the shadows, and maybe there's going to be a big blowout battle. Shazam there. Magog. Shazam's going to be the one that tests the limits of Superman's abilities and heroics. So anyway, that's chapter 2 of Kingdom Come by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. It's a great read along with Steve Donoghue. The artwork throughout, it's just incredible. It's every page is such a pleasure to look at. It's absolutely breathlessly beautiful. I'm really looking forward to hearing what Steve has to say about chapter 2. I really am enjoying it. It's just not the story that I was expecting, but really engaging. I want to know what's going to be happening. And I can't wait to hear Steve's thoughts. And of course, everyone else that's reading along, please let me know what you're thinking of the graphic novel as we're going through it. Or if you have any thoughts about any of the things that I had to say, please let me know. So, thank you for watching. Please leave a comment if you would like, and take care.